back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And welcome to our review of Gen V, the newest show in the boys universe. And we obviously took our time with this show. We watched it week by week. 100%. We definitely did not just binge watch it within the last week or a couple of days for some of us. We're here to talk about it.
That's how you got to do it. Let's be honest, all right? The week by week thing is trash. I'm waiting. Let me just watch it at my own time. Who do they think they are to control my weekly schedule? What are you, the NFL? You're gonna tell me on Wednesday night I'm watching your show? Fuck off. Exactly. Yeah, so as Alex said, Gen V season 1. I think they've already announced season 2.
Yeah,
it's gonna officially happen, so that's pretty cool. And then hopefully we get the boys next year, I believe. It's the rumor.
Yep. We got the posters for it, 2024.
So, we'll just kind of dive into it, I guess, real quick, just a little bit. Obviously, spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't watched Gen V or probably even the boys. There's a little connection, or there's some connection to it that we'll talk about. So, I guess warning for both of those shows. But yeah, overall, just quick little thing. Obviously, this is talking about a God U, basically a college for people with abilities, and it follows a little group of college kids, high school, teenage, or whatever they are, with powers. And right away, I thought the opening scene was crazy. I'm the only one who thought, okay, this is definitely the boys' universe.
Yeah. Friendly reminder every time, man.
Yep. Yeah, that opening, I was like, okay, yep, this is definitely going to be in the boys' universe. But I don't know. Overall, I thought the show was really, really well paced. Like we were talked about a little bit already off camera. The episodes were relatively short, and I felt like every time they ended, I was kind of surprised that it was over. Like each and every episode, for the most part.
Yeah. I could have sworn that at least there was a few of them on here that were close to 50 plus minutes long, and some of those definitely didn't feel that way. I don't know. Let's see here. It shows, on average, they're like 50-ish, 40 minutes, and pretty good for them. Let's see. The first episode's almost an hour long.
Yeah, that was the longest one.
Yeah. So, it's a boys' universe, so obviously there's gonna be some wild ass shit that goes on. Like you guys said, the first scene where she kills her parents there with the blood, it was just okay, back in it again. And I guess we'll just go from the main things that happen in the first episode. That happens, then we cut to present day. And she's being accepted to the school, God U, and obviously we meet basically a bunch of the main characters. One of them being Luke, or I guess Golden Boy, who we think is set up to be like the the big guy, like the big popular guy, and he dies. He dies in the first episode. So I was like, oh, cool.
Was that the
Fantastic.
first? No, that wasn't. That was
the first episode. That was the first episode, because
I remember thinking, I was like, oh, okay. Well, there
that's nuts to me.
Yeah, because he kills the main guy there, and then he starts to go on a murder spree, and then obviously the Marie, Andre, and Jordan start to fight him.
Well, just Jordan.
And then Jordan fights him, and Marie obviously takes all of the credit. But before that happens, he hugs Andre and he says he loves him, and then he just flies up and explodes himself. Which
Dude,
I was like, all right,
nuts.
I was like, okay, that was a hell of a way to start the show.
That was the first. That's blowing my mind that was the first episode. I guess because I binged them all, they kind of all just blend together into one big storyline, which was cool. But yeah, obviously, like Alex was talking about, this, and then after that, it kind of just follows that there's some tomfoolery, some going on. I would argue some shenanigans you could even throw in, going on with this school and the president. And throughout it, they're trying to figure out, what's going on. What are the woods? What's this whole hidden area underneath? Surprise. His brother,
Vought.
Sam, is alive. Well, technically, Vought didn't know about it, so come on now. But I mean, I don't even know where to start to cover the whole thing. Thinking about it now, like an entire season. I guess just really some of the big things. I thought Marie's powers were awesome. I thought that was such a cool thing that they thought of.
Yeah,
it was cool, and also interesting that it is the same powers confirmed as what's her
Victoria
name?
Newman.
Yeah. Because we just thought she was just a head popper, and that's it. And then now it confirms that no, there's two of them, and I was like, okay, interesting. Wonder what that means for duplicate powers.
Yeah, that was a cool, when you figured out that it was the exact same thing, like you said, because we thought she just blew up heads and that was just her entire power. But when she showed that, I mean, that was cool. I don't know, I really liked oh my god, what is her name now? Emma?
Kate?
Emma. I thought Emma's her whole thing about how she can grow, how she has to throw up or eat food and stuff. I just really like how the boys comes up with different ways to do the same characters. Obviously throughout both Marvel, DC, any superhero, there's somebody who can shrink and stuff. But just kind of the back, the dark side of how some of these people have to use their powers. I just really enjoy that this universe, how much more dark it is, and how I just really like that concept of it, which is really cool.
Yeah, because it just shows you in reality, some of these powers might have side effects, and some could be worse than others. And hers, she needs to throw up or eat a shit ton in order to grow.
I mean, most of them are, because you look at Andre and his dad Sean. Obviously, they have the issue of every time they use their power, it's killing their brain. And why am I blanking on who's the other one that every time they use their power it hurts them?
Kate. Because
Kate.
When she uses her touching ability to make people do what she says, her her eyes start to bleed.
Yeah, she can have an aneurysm. But
which, I mean, they're alluding at the end though that might not even be an actual issue. It was more just
because of the pills that
or she just
Shetty was giving her.
I don't know. I was confused about that too, because her eye was getting blood clot kind of in the her eyes were getting bloodshot, but she was still able to continue to do it. So I was. I
think it was just kind of
if it was the pills
holding
or
it
what.
back.
I think it's a classic.
It was just
mix up two.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's the theme of both shows have been just, if you're powerful, there's a drawback.
Right. I mean, except for Homelander, we haven't really seen.
Yeah, he's the only one that hasn't. Well, actually, a few of those kind of the seven are the only ones that their powers don't affect their actual health.
Right.
But it seems like the newer heroes it has been.
But yeah, like you were talking about, I love learning more about Maria's powers, and then obviously now we know that Victoria also has the same ones. But as you kind of saw her learn about what all she can do, and with other people's blood as well. And then, I don't know, I thought the scene was cool when she, figured out the tracker was in her. And she was like, oh, wait, there's a blood clot. She was, feeling it. I thought that scene was so cool. And, I just really liked learning more about her powers. And just, a funny little thing was, after the, I don't know, I want to say it was maybe episode 3 or 4 that ended with, Sam was trying to kill the one doctor. And they ended up, she grew to stop him. And then, it ended with them, waking up somewhere. The next episode. Yeah. When her and Emma were walking, and she was like, I forgot, when is it? And she's like, what? She's like, I just forgot, when is it? And she just stops and thinks, and then for a second she's like, you're gonna get your period next Friday. I just thought that was so funny for some reason that it just came out of nowhere. But yeah, I really liked Maria and her power, and the actor and everything. Obviously her character was cool too, but I loved her powers, learning about it.
Yeah, that episode was great, and I had to even rewind this because I was like, did it just skip into the next episode? I was like, what's even going on right now? So I had to rewind. I was like, oh, okay. And so I loved the little foolery of that episode of them trying to find out what's going on, who mind wiped them. That was
right. I overall, I mean, like I said, this is going to be an all over the place kind of review, because it is hard to tackle an entire season. But I thought, yeah, that whole trying to figure out what was going on with them. And obviously there's a lot of issues in here that we're not going to talk about that they cover, not just with the actual show, but also they could talk about real issues, we were talking about Emma and her eating disorder type thing, and Jordan and the issues that they had being, obviously that's not actually how non-binary, you just don't just switch like that, but and all that stuff. Like they covered a lot in this show. I thought like from a joking standpoint and like a serious, they actually like covered some stuff, which I thought was like kind of cool of like them, and you know, kind of just props to really good writing to be able to cover in a show this, you know, satire filled to also be able to cover like real topics and issues and be real about stuff. But I mean, Sam, that's, you know, he's kind of the main one that I just want to talk about for a little bit. What are our thoughts on Sam?
So Sam, I think Sam suffered from poor writing in the last 2 episodes, in my opinion. He definitely started off strong. I mean, obviously the whole interest is like, who is this man? And they're alluding that he was going to become more powerful, is more powerful than Golden Boy. And they obviously started strong that Golden Boy was the it man. And you kept seeing more and more of this guy just being pure chaos. And also, when we first actually see his personality, like that was so fun. Just his interactions with Emma in the beginning, that was great. That's perfect. I just kept thinking Emma's just gonna get smushed, and I was like, damn, R.I.P. You know what I mean? But yeah, Sam's intro, like arc, was fantastic. But I felt like the ending arc was really rushed. Like you can tell, like, okay, we need him to now have his issue, like, be present immediately, so that it could join sides with Kate. Like Kate's made a lot more sense, and it was way more well balanced, I think, of the turning of her turning tides, you know. I mean, Shorty was, so it made sense of her ending with the show. But for Sam, it was kind of like, oh dude, you saw like an ounce of radical ideas and then like immediately have a character switch of being like, you just are absolutely hating every single human, you're absolutely hating everything, you're turning against supes, turning against anyone that was nice to you. So I felt like it was very fast. I definitely think it could have worked. It gave me Daenerys Game of Thrones final season vibes of just very fastly turned and switched when it needed at least maybe an episode or 2.
Give it a little time. Both of those characters were rushed for sure.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for that support.
I don't think it was too bad. Like, I mean, I definitely see like maybe if you would have given it like another episode or 2, but
I saw a red hat and just immediately was like, man, fuck those people. We're a better kind.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it from his perspective, he's been locked up and experimented on and pretty much tortured by humans because of what he has and what his gift is. So when he's out in the actual world, the first thing he really sees is that, you know, I can see, you know, be like, okay, you have this life experience and you're stuck you're isolated, you grow up there essentially, and the first thing you see when you get out is these sort of ideas where, you know, they're saying that soups aren't the answer, but in reality everyone there is like is pissed off at, I think it was Newman who was doing her speech there. Soup's life matters, and then obviously, okay, well, that's how you can see he's getting brainwashed. Okay, well, yeah, humans are the ones that fucked me over. I'm a soup. These people are saying soup lives matter. It's like I can see how he's like the breadcrumbs there. How he's starting to lean into that, and then obviously by the end, and you know, I think it's kind of like episode 7 is where his turn kind of jumps a little too fast, but I feel like if they would have given it maybe one more episode or just like a few more moments of him starting to slowly turn, I feel like that would have been better. But I didn't see it like as like it was super rushed. I feel like maybe, you know, they definitely rushed it a tiny bit, but the breadcrumbs were definitely laid there. I think it was like by episode 3 or 4 where they finally broke him out.
I don't know. I felt like it went from like this complex character with internal struggles that you can see that there's still plenty of good in him. Just from his initial reactions of seeing Emma, was majority of his anger was towards himself, not towards others, or more just defending himself or defending the ones that he's attached to. And then you saw none of that really in just the last episode. He's just a pure bad guy at that point. at the end.
Oh yeah,
where it's
and
just
then,
Yeah.
pure rage, and then he's like, make me just not feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It definitely felt like a hard, just like 180.
I
just kinda
I
out of
agree.
blue.
But
I mean, overall, the character was dope.
Yeah, he was cool, but I do agree that he was very like him and Emma have a strong connection. He was like very struggling with like anytime he was doing anything like aggressive, it was all like protection. It never was like he was never on the attack. So it was very much like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out, and literally he was like hiding in like a closet waiting for Emma, just being super like just naive and chill.
Mm-hmm.
And then like he slides down a hallway and goes to one rally, and now he's full on like, we're gonna take over the world, like we don't need humans. I do agree that it was like in a matter of like 10 minutes, even in like real time, it was like a 30-minute change. This dude was like sleeping in a closet waiting for Emma. Next thing you know, he's like full on. Yeah, I do feel like that part was rushed.
Not to interrupt you, but also I remembered he didn't even show anger when Emma and Marie's minds got wiped. A person that he just got connection with, got their mind wiped, shows no anger of wanting to hunt anybody down at that immediate moment. And then
he literally told her to stay away.
I'm sorry that
And then the last two episodes, he's just pure hatred and rage.
See, to me, it's not even the last 2 episodes. It's literally just the last episode. Like, it was literally just that last one. That's why I was like, that felt rushed to me. But, I mean, overall, like you said, he was really cool. And is his powers literally just like he's super strong? Are we kind of...
Yeah, it seems like it's just like a meta human strength. It doesn't... I don't know. He kind of got nerfed a bit when he faced Andre. You know, that's when I was like noticed, he isn't nearly as strong as I thought. Because I was thinking, is this supposed to be a threat, like a Black Noir, maybe replica of he might be really strong, and maybe this is who they're going to like maybe lean into to be that next character for the boys. Because I was kind of wondering if they do bring Black Noir back, and then like we find out Sam is almost like a Homelander strength clone or something like that. But then Andre like kind of survived and was able to punch him, hit him hard, hurt him, and also just a normal stun baton got him. So that was kind of like,
I mean, he did have to hold this stun for a while, but I was kind of confused by that. I was like, okay, I feel like he is like obviously stronger than everyone else, but then that fight happened, like
in the one scene where they were trying to stop him from killing the doctor, he was pretty much wailing on them. It took all of them to like bring him down.
Right,
and
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Emma to like grow big in order for her to like hold him down. And I feel like maybe his powers weren't like fully fleshed out because they're still to be like explored more, since they were extracting a bunch of golden boy's blood and kind of transfusing it into him. So maybe his like powers haven't fully like, you know, maxed out yet. So I mean, I'm hoping to get more kind of information on that.
Which, speaking of, I mean, we just talked about the Sam plot. What about the second part of Sam plot? Kate, the learning of Kate being a part of it all. How did you?
I thought that was so good. I thought that was so good. That because, like you said, that whole episode was like, what is happening right now? And then you kind of obviously everything goes on. They kind of figure out it was actually her, and like the whole thing of going in her mind and everything. But I thought that was a really good twist, and like it made a lot of sense when they showed how. I can't remember was she the fight? Was just the principal? Was she just the principal? Or did she have
basically?
Yeah.
But yeah, Shetty, like once they showed like how alone and she was literally, Kate was locked up ever since her brother disappeared on her, or she sent her brother to disappear, and then Shetty just came in and like instantly was like, "Don't wear your gloves, like you can touch me." Like you can see why Kate had such a strong connection that she was willing to turn her back on her friends. So, like, I thought that was extremely well done and, like, a really nice twist, and it didn't feel, like, completely out of left field. Like, it made sense once they showed more, like, why she's so dedicated to Shetty. I completely understand it all.
Yeah.
I thought the twist was crazy to me, of her killing Shetty. That part was wild to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was all, like, I thought they were, like, purposely doing all that, because like we had seen before that like Kate was talking to Shetty and Shetty was like gaining her trust. So I thought when she came in, like that was I thought that was just like a bit between her and Shetty, like right, like she was purposely telling like tell them what you told me. Like, she wasn't actually under Kate's power. She was just, something else was going to happen. And then when she pulled the knife and, like, slit her throat, I was like, okay, are we going to see Maria save her? And that's how they, like, again show, like, oh, Kate's on your guy's side, but she's really on Shetty. Like, Shetty was really to, like, risk it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when she full on died, I was like, damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, the plot twist was definitely nice. I think it even got nicer when, like you said, of seeing the backstory through Kate's mind.
Soldier Boy showed up there.
Yeah, Soldier Boy was hilarious, and then Andre's jealousness of it was even funnier. But also learning about the Andre and Kate, craziness going on. It just seemed like Golden Boy was fucked from the get-go, man.
Yeah.
That's
Golden
tough.
Boy got a rough draw.
Yeah, man. There's nothing golden about that life.
His brother Sam got worse. I think Sam got it worse.
A bad duo, man. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. That was nice. Definitely explored, gave backgrounds of everybody, which was cool. I think it was an easy way to like quick give some backstory for all characters in the later episodes of the season.
I thought every character was really well done in the show. Like, there's not a single one of like the main cast that I did not like. Even somebody we haven't even really talked about too much, but Jordan. I mean, it's honestly hard for me to say who was my favorite one, because I think so many of them, like Maria, like really Andre is like the one I liked the least, and maybe Kate you could throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like everybody else, like I love, like you mentioned earlier, like Sam and Emma's relationship thing. I loved that every time they went to that. And just, I thought Jordan was such a dope character. I loved Jordan.
Yeah, they were nice.
So I just think they did a really well job with everybody in the main cast, and nobody was lacking, or like every time it went to like their little subplot or something going on, it wasn't like a, damn, can we get to somebody else? Like, I thought they did everybody justice.
Fun fact. I saw this literally just like yesterday. I saw it on TikTok. They actually set up Marie's character and the actress in season 3 of The Boys, when Huey was like adopting a soup, and she showed up in the databank, and she's right there. It's like Marie M, and then it's the actress before they even said anything about there being a Gen V. And I was like, oh shit! So they already had this all planned out already. So, which is nice to see that they clearly have a vision for this universe that they're clearly building out now. And honestly, so far, they've done a pretty good job. Yeah,
they're doing amazing, dude.
Yeah, the show definitely was nice about feeling different from The Boys. So it didn't feel like you're just kind of getting like just a side DLC. Definitely held up. I think if the show came out on its own, no Boys, it would still be good. We'd still be enjoying it, talking about it, and then we'd be hyped that The Boys are coming out.
Right, and I think they did a really good job of tying in stuff with The Boys. Obviously, we already talked about Newman, how she shows up, and we learn more about her.
Soldier
lady
Boy
that
in a
Shetty
cameo.
messed with. Yeah, the lady that Shetty met with. I can't remember her name. Mallory, yeah.
Yeah,
obviously she was in it.
Butcher.
We saw Ashley in the last episode. Ashley was there. Obviously we had the Homelander little small cameo, and at the very, very end we had the Butcher small cameo. But I thought they did a really good job of tying in, like, not just characters and plots that would go along with. Obviously the whole reason behind Shetty was the plane incident that we saw in The Boys. So I thought they did a really good job of tying them together, but not making it dependent or reliant on The Boys. It's definitely its own show that completely stands on its own and doesn't need, they didn't have to force feed Butcher or Homelander or other characters from The Boys. They let these characters get their own unique story to start.
Yeah,
which is nice to see.
The Homelander PTSD was definitely kicking in for me at the final episode when like Jordan was slowly walking towards Marie. I was like, he's just gonna fly out of nowhere and just splatter him or something. I was so worried. There's too many pauses And I was like,
Dude.
something's gonna happen. And then you heard the boom in the air, and I was like,
oh Kate was gonna touch him, and then Murray explodes her arm.
Yeah, that all happened, and then Homelander just appears, and then you're like, okay. Oh, you're kind of just thinking, okay, we know from the boys that he's not the Vought little prince right now. So what is he about to do? And then
Yeah.
Still confused though. I mean, they definitely left on a cliffhanger of what's going on. I guess Vought still probably cleaned up at the end, made up excuses, and
yeah, they made it seem so that that Sam and Kate were now the new guardians of Godolkin, and they blamed like the murder spree on Marie, Jordan, Andre, and Emma. So now they're locked up somewhere, presumably somewhere somewhere in Vought. And apparently, I mean, they've confirmed it, like even before this episode aired, that it was gonna lead directly into season 4, and then I guess when season 4 ends of The Boys, it leads directly into season 2 of Gen V. And after watching that final episode, okay, so now we know why Shetty was doing this, and how, you know, this virus that kills supes is going to be such a big thing going into season 4. And obviously Butcher is, you know, knows about it. So
on the case, he's investigating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the ending, I thought they did a really good job of, they tied up a lot of the story and still left it with, you know, a nice cliffhanger that's not like annoyingly like done, that obviously you want to see more just because it was a good show. But I thought they did a good job of tying up some ends and then also building forward for the universe. So
you know what dawned on me? That they were probably alluding at the end, the reason why they even did Homelander attacks Marie, not anybody else, or even just has him attack her and she survives it, is probably alluding that Newman is a lot more powerful than we think, because they're the same.
I mean, yeah, because Andre
she
said,
didn't
like,
die.
How did you? Yeah, how did
she
you
didn't
survive
die?
that blast?
Takes the hit, meaning that Newman is probably of equal power or greater than Homelander.
Which just makes it even better,
it.
because like Homelander, if you think Homelander was just going to kill this kid, is really what it's telling us, is like that's how unhinged and how just wild Homelander is like he did not hold back on his blast. Like if they're like, how are you alive? That just means like Homelander is like, all right, this kid's probably doing something. Dead. Like,
well, yeah, because if you think about it, when he got there, he sees her explode Kate's arm. It's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do what I know how to do, and that's just
kill.
Yeah. And yeah, it's nuts. He is, and you know that like fun 25-30 seconds of Homelander that we got is just a reminder. It's like, yeah, he is him.
He's
Did you
a
guys-
character.
Did you think Newman was in collusion with what was her name? Is it Shelley or Seisty? What is it? For
Joe
Principal?
Shiesty. Yeah. Joe
Yeah.
Shiesty.
Yeah.
Shetty, yeah.
Shetty, that's what it is. Yeah.
Principal Shetty, yeah.
Because
No.
I don't think so either. And that's what I assumed, obviously, once you find out, like, oh, she was making this disease. And then it seems like Newman was more surprised by it and then wants it. So now,
No, absolutely not, because she's obviously a soup without people knowing she's a soup, which I think is a very interesting. Obviously, we knew she was a soup from The Boys, but you know, now that she's openly trust Maria enough to let her know, like, not only am I a soup, but we're the same, and talked about her past of growing up in the same adoption thing, and I'm assuming that's why. What was his name? Stan? Her adopted dad, Edgar.
Yeah.
Stan, where did that come from? But I'm assuming. Oh, is that Stan Edgar? Right, I knew that. Are we assuming that's why Edgar, he purposely adopted her, knowing that she is so rare, and that we're going to learn more about her and Maria's powers?
I mean, we probably will.
There's no way he just adopted somebody randomly. Like, he had to have known about her powers and how rare she is, right?
Yeah, all of it's kind of confusing now. Of the lines are definitely getting blurred of who's on whose side. I mean, it feels like there's literally almost 4 sides at this point fighting each other instead of the OG.
That's fine.
Beginning with Billy and
it makes it feel different. Yeah, it makes it feel different.
Yeah,
you know, it's not doing like a clear like good versus bad or anything like that. Clearly, this show has a bunch of fucked up people on both sides.
I mean, that's how the real world is too.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so
Real
unique and interesting.
That is.
But no, dude, Marie is definitely going to be a big part going forward, and her powers are nuts. Because if you think about it, she's a bloodbender. If she chooses to be, she can detect things in your blood. She can see if you are a soup or not, and she couldn't die from a blast. So presumably, she can heal herself. Because if you think about it, she every time she cut her hand, she must have healed
she can heal
back
herself.
up.
Yeah, we all know she can heal herself, and she can obviously lose an infinite amount of blood. Because you never saw her like retract it, so it's like, is she just immortal in the sense of she can't bleed out? You can't like cut her and kill her. Like she's just gonna control that blood and chill.
I don't think she ever pushed it to the extreme to ever see that. Majority of the time she just starts it a little bit and it kind of drained her a bit, but then at that point she would just gain it from somebody else.
Yeah, like I think we're gonna learn a lot more about her, and like you said, I think it was hinting that Victoria is a lot more powerful than what we know, which is gonna be fun to learn about. But yeah, I think overall, this series is really good. I don't know if anybody else has any more closing points before we get to ratings.
I would say it was it finished a lot stronger than I think it started for me, and I enjoyed it, to my surprise.
Short finale.
Very short.
Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed it, and I binge watched it. Like, I literally watched like 6 episodes like that, and then like the following day, I finished the next 2.
Yeah, I thought it had really good pacing. Just all around, it was a nice change. Love the drama, the characters, chemistry, all of it, storyline. So yeah, overall, out of 10, the entire series, I'm gonna give it like a 9.3. I very much enjoyed this series. I thought it was really good. I definitely would go back and rewatch it again at some point. But yeah, I really enjoyed the series. Like, there is not a whole lot of glaring issues to me.
I mean, I gotta agree. I gotta give it like around a 9 out of 10 too. I enjoy this universe, and they did a good job in expanding it in a way where, like we said, it's not like a copy and paste of The Boys. It has its own flavor to it, and they did a good job at building out the story, keeping a good pace, and obviously keeping us intrigued to see what happens in season 4. So yeah, I agree.
I think I would give it a 8.7 out of 10. I think it was really solid, and there's just a bit too many, dick jokes.
Whoa,
Just
there's a perfect amount.
Whoa, she exploded his dick one time. Relax.
Yeah, it was one time, dude. One dick got blown up. If we got to like 3, sure, issue, but 1, whatever. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you watched Gen V, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments down below. Like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in our next one.